Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Corki. This is taken from another one of our team ranked games, so you can see that we have the team moniker here for Realms Beyond. I'm playing alongside Speaker, who's playing as Skarner, Diva, who's playing as Morgana, Vendor, who's playing as Aurelia, myself playing as Sona, of course, and then this replay is from the point of view of Nox, who's playing as Corki. Their team, the team that we're up against, had a very scary team comp. When we saw this in the picking screen, we were pretty intimidated by their team comp. So they are going to be running an Alistar Vayne bottom lane, Twitch in the jungle, with more on that in a minute, and then the zombie combo of Yorick in top lane and Zilean in mid. So Yorick Vayne, very powerful. We've seen used a lot in tournament settings. It's been used a whole lot in late game. Basically, you dump the Yorick ultimate onto Vayne, and then you have a Vayne clone that, or if Vayne dies, then she comes back to life, and she's just rolling around doing so much true damage, and even if you kill her, she comes right back to life. And then they actually have a second revive there with Zilean in the game as well. So this was a very scary team comp, as I said. And what I'm going to try to focus on in this video is two different things. One, I'm going to show you a game from Corki's point of view, because I don't think I've really done much Corki. I've done a whole lot of Sona videos, and I think I just had another one where I talked about her. So I'm going to talk, not going to focus on Sona so much as talking about Corki. But the other thing we are going to talk about is how to counter a stealth setup. That's what this team is running. They have a Twitch jungle, so that is a stealth setup. And I'm going to talk a little bit about countering the stealth setup in this game and different ways to try to stay safe if a team is running something like that. The only big problem is it relies on having a very organized team comp. Anyway, we were thinking about trying to go and interfere with Twitch's jungle. Twitch usually starts at red buff at Lizard, but as soon as I used the clairvoyance, we spotted their entire team right there waiting to protect Twitch, and at that point it wasn't a good idea to go in there and try to fight. So instead, we're going to come down here, and we're hurrying to try to get to double golems. For anyone who's curious, if anytime you're on the blue side of the map, you should always take the double golems right at the start of the game, normally, because they will respawn by the time your jungler gets down there. Notice the Speaker starting at wolves as Skarner and then going to blue. We're going to take the double golems, and the AD carry plus support can trade off tanking them. Notice how we didn't take any damage. We traded off tanking the damage back and forth, just leashing and releashing back and forth, and so we're able to get them. And basically what this does is it lets the AD carry get a little extra gold, but more importantly, he starts halfway to level 2. So Varus' Corki is already halfway to level 2, so we're going to hit level 2 before them in lane, and that can be very significant sometimes. Okay, so again, we're trying to keep track of Twitch. Notice I used the clairvoyance. We saw he's right here. He's got his red buff, so that means Diva is going to play very carefully in mid. Notice how he's just walking forward to use his pool, and then he's going to back off. He needs to play carefully to try to avoid getting killed by Twitch. And again, remember what I said about double golems? Nox's Corki has already hit 2, and notice Vayne is only level 1. And now I have bought 2 pink wards to start the game, and I'm going to toss one down right in our lane to try to protect us from Twitch ganks. So again, we knew Twitch was going mid. There he is, and so Diva's able to dodge that gank without getting killed. Okay, but enough about Twitch for the moment. Instead, let's talk a little bit about Corki as a character. So Corki is another ranged AD. He wasn't played a lot for a while, but he's come back into popularity of late. He is another one of the champions that got a pretty big buff from the reworking to the masteries and the summoner spells, because he does very well with the new masteries. You can get both the armor pen and magic penetration in the offensive tree, and both of them work really well with Corki because he does a mixture of physical and also a fair amount of magic damage as well. So Corki has a very nice passive. His basic attacks deal additional true damage to minions, monsters, and champions. Pretty basic, but a really nice passive, one of the better ones in the game. So as you build more AD, he continues to scale off of more true damage. Corki is very good at poking people with range due to the way his missiles and his phosphor bombs works. That's really his strength, his ability to poke. He's quite good in lane. He doesn't scale quite as well into late game as some other champs, but he has a lot of skills that can be used in fighting, and you tend to build Trinity Force on him over some of the more traditional AD carry items. First one of the skills I'll highlight here is his Phosphor Bomb. Deals magic damage to enemies in a target area, and it also reveals champions hit by the blast for a few seconds. Notice the little icon above Vayne? We can see her because it was hit by the Phosphor Bomb. So that's his Q. Point and click damage. Very useful, especially in the laning phase. Great at harass, and it's a skill that you're going to want to level up first. So Varus has put a point into this at level 1, and he's going to max this first at levels 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 as he levels up. Next skill, Valkyrie. Corki surges the target location, deals magic damage per second to enemies in the fire left along his path. This isn't really a damage skill, this is a repositioning skill. It's on a long cooldown, see 20 seconds, but it's great for repositioning. You can use it to escape, you can use it to chase, has a lot of utility. So 1 point in this at level 2 and max it last is generally how things go. Now I'll get back to the skills in a minute, but we have a play going on here. Notice how Speaker is snuck into the bottom brush. He's already got his red buff, his Skarner, and he's trying to set up for a gank here. But notice also the pink ward here. We've got still have 45 seconds left on the pink ward here. So their team is actually trying to set up for a gank on us. And there he goes. Speaker going to sneak into the brush again. So now he's here. He's ready to fight us. And we are going to have a little bit of an unpleasant surprise for their team. So in goes Alistar. He's going to initiate. He's going to try to fight. Here comes Twitch, but we can see him because of the pink ward. So we're all going to turn and focus on Twitch. And he's going to go down very quickly. Notice that they're all focusing me, but I'm able to flash out of the fight. So now we're going to turn and go after Vayne. Speaker has double buff from killing Twitch. And Varus is going to score the second kill there with his Phosphor Bomb. So we were able to counter-gank that absolutely perfectly. Again, due to having that pink ward there, we were able to spot Twitch as he's coming, and then Speaker was right there in the brush. We hadn't seen Twitch in a while. We were expecting him to try to come and gank a lane. He went bottom, and we were just able to turn on that and fight it perfectly, scoring first blood and getting 2 kills. So Varus got a kill. Speaker, our Skarner player, also got another kill, and then I get the 2 assists. And they were trying so hard to kill me that Vayne over-pursued and ended up getting killed by Varus as well. So that Vayne is now very far behind in the lane. Varus knocks his Corki 37 minion kills, Vayne on only 16, and because she was denied 2 full waves of minions, and she wasn't farming all that well even before that. Okay, so I already mentioned Corki's passive, mentioned his Q, his Phosphor Bomb, mentioned his Valkyrie. His E skill, a bit of an unorthodox skill. There's not really a lot of other skills like this. His Gatling Gun, basically this is a sort of a melee ranged attack, even though it's on an AD carry. Fires at targets in front of him for 4 seconds, deals physical damage per second, and reduces armor. So it's very good against tanky champions. Again, the mixture of the true damage and the Gatling Gun. The big disadvantage to Gatling Gun is it has very, very short range. It's basically point blank range, it to be right in front of them. But if you can, set up a stun or something, some kind of crowd control, and Corki can get off his Gatling Gun and it starts shredding their armor, it will deal an absolute ton of damage if you can get that off correctly. Anyway, D.Va, playing Morgana, has come down from middle lane. He is just hanging out here in the rush, and we're pretty sure they don't have this worded, so we're just waiting for the right moment to engage, to go in here. I'm actually back buying again, and I didn't do a good job of timing my backing buyings with Varus. So anyway, we're just waiting for the right moment to go in here, and D.Va is spending quite a lot of time here, but right when that tumble comes in, now we're going to go in and engage. There's the Phosphor Bomb for the vision. Flash from D.Va, Morgana ult coming out, and let's see, right there going to get the proc, and going to finish it off with that Soul Shackle. So it turned into a very easy kill just because apparently they did not have ward coverage on the river. Meanwhile, there is a fight going on up here in top lane, trying to chase after Speaker, and it looked like he was going to get out, but then an Ignite came in from someone on their team. Who used the Ignite? It looks like Zillion used the Ignite, but it was Yorick who actually got the kill. So while we were ganking bottom lane, they went up and ganked top. But with Vayne having died twice already, and Vayne only on 23 minion kills, that Vayne is just very, very far behind. Anyway, Varus' last skill, playing here as Corki, is his Missile Barrage. So this is really the skill that makes Corki Corki, his Missile Barrage and his Phosphor Bomb. It's what allows him to poke. So hovering over this skill here, fires a missile towards his target location, deals damage to the first enemy it hits, and deals area of effect magic damage. Corki stores up a missile every 10 seconds, and he can store up to 7 of them at one time, and cooldown reduction does affect this. I believe, not 100% sure, but I believe that if you get cooldown reduction, the charge up time for the missiles takes less. So see, there's the missile charging up. And then every 4th missile is a big one that deals 50% extra damage. So again, what really makes Corki is this skill. Oh, by the way, they placed a ward at Dragon, and I had an extra pink, so I just went and killed it, just trying to shut down their vision. And I was actually in a lot of trouble here. If Vayne could have gotten off a Condemn correctly, they might have been able to kill me there with double stun, but fortunately they messed it up. I was actually a little bit out of position there. Anyways, I was saying what makes Corki Corki is the use of his Missile Barrage and his Phosphor Bomb just gives him a ton of poke between the two of them. It's very easy to poke down minion waves with those two skills. One missile plus 1 Phosphor Bomb, usually enough to kill the range creeps, so it makes it pretty easy. And he can hit people from a long distance away with that Missile Barrage. So this is why most people usually build Corki going Trinity Force as his first big item, and Varus has already started that by getting the Phage. You can see the Phage here gives him the extra health, attack damage, and the chance to reduce movement speed, the slowing effect. Basically, you sit back and you poke at people with your missiles and your Phosphor Bombs, and with your Valkyrie, you can usually disengage from fights and stay safe. Right there, Alistar going in with his Headbutt, but we weren't in that much trouble. Anyway, fight going on in top lane. Speaker and Ven are able to get another kill. Yorick has used his ghost to try to revive himself, so it looks like that Twitch was trying to gank this lane. But the problem with Twitch is he has not really been able to get any early kills, and that means he started to fall behind. And if Twitch doesn't snowball ahead with early kills, he is going to be in trouble. Anyway, there's a power chord slow from Sona, and look how much damage we're going to toss onto this Alistar right here. There is a Phosphor Bomb, and if I was 6 and if I had my ultimate, we would have killed him right there. Or at least we would have forced him to use his own ult to get out of it. Anyway, things are going well right there. See, Twitch is on low health. He's hanging around back behind the tower. And Speaker wants to chase him, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. Instead, Bender and Speaker are going to continue applying pressure to this tower, and they should be able to take that tower down. Meanwhile, we're doing the same. We're just putting pressure on this tower, making it difficult for Vayne to last hit. There's the little Sona dance at the tower, harassing with Q. But of course, she's going to miss some of these, just because the tower is going to eat them, make it that much harder. And in terms of minion kills, Varus on 73 as Corki 102, that Vayne 020 43. So she's pretty far behind. And Varus can actually go back and get either a Zeal or a Sheen, continuing towards Trinity Force on his next trip back. So our team's in pretty good shape. There's another fight going on mid, yeah. Speaker and D.Va able to gank that middle lane. So that kill that we got early on down here really put us ahead, and from there, Speaker's just continued to sort of scale ahead. And D.Va picked up his second kill as well. So we're going to try to force this dragon fight right here. They know we're doing dragon, but we shouldn't. We feel pretty safe to do this. We just killed their middle lane. We just killed Cillian. So we're going to force this fight while they don't have numbers. Vendor has come down as well. So we're going to have all 5 members of our team there. Yorick is still in top. Another member of their team died. And we're just going to take dragon right there. I'm going to flash ult. I was actually trying to hit Vayne. I missed Vayne, but we're going to get Alistar instead. And that worked out rather serendipitously right there. And of course, with us all 5 being here, we're going to steal their blue buff again. And at this point, we're just really in control of this game and not really having any trouble at this point in time. So we're off to a great start, and now going to go back. Or actually, Varus got the blue buff there, which is not bad because, as I said, here we can actually check out. Yeah, see, notice that the cooldown reduction actually does work on the missile barrage. Now it's every 8 seconds instead of every 10 seconds. So, and with that mana, he can just sit back and spam his phosphor bomb, spam his missile barrage, and yeah, you can use the check brush too. By the way, you can use either your phosphor bomb or your missiles. So that's really what Corki does: is he sits back and he shoots missiles at you like that. Like, look at the range on that. Again, so that's one reason why Corki very strong in lane. He's also there's the phosphor bomb right there for more harass. So he's very good at harassing, very good at poking in lane. He falls off a bit towards the end of the game. I mean, he's still decent, but he just doesn't do the sort of the raw damage output of somebody like Vayne or Tristana at the end of the game. But is very popular right now, again, due to his ability to poke and due to his escapability with Valkyrie. Varus also is taking Cleanse, you can see here. So with Cleanse, Valkyrie, and Flash, just very difficult to sort of gank Corki and kill him in lane. And champions that do well in lane, of course, tend to snowball pretty well towards the late game. So, I mean, Vayne is going to be better late game, but if Vayne never reaches her late game, then it's not really going to matter. And here comes Speaker again, sneaking into that bottom rush. There is the ultimate. Come here. Going to pull him towards us, kidnap that Vayne. And again, that's an easy kill right there. And we have just picked on this Vayne all day, which is what we want to do because we can't allow Vayne to sort of snowball and hyper carry. If you leave Vayne alone to farm, she's going to get super, super strong as the game goes on. We can't let that happen. So Speaker and D.Va have been really trying to target this Vayne, and we've been having a lot of success with it thus far. So anyway, I think Varus... He's very close to his Trinity Force. I think he just needs a little bit more gold to pick it up. And this would be an absurdly early Trinity Force if he could get this. Anyway, right here, Twitch is... we know that Twitch is hanging around here. We can see Alistar as well. We need to start getting... there's the Valkyrie in for the engage. Twitch is actually going to flash out of there. There is a defensive Pulverize from Alistar. And are we going to be able to finish him off? No, not quite going to be able to finish him off. I was a little bit behind the fight. I believe my ult was back up. Yeah, so if I had been in a little bit better position, we could have scored that kill. But D.Va was able to get another kill on Zilean in mid, and Vendor is just continuing to push this top lane. So really, at this point in time, we are just, in the driver's seat, and we have to mess up to lose the game from this position. So a few more notes on countering a stealth team. Notice that I actually picked up an Oracle right after Philostone and Boots. I got the Philosopher's Stone and Boots, and then my next item was the Oracle. And again, that's a direct response to the fact that Twitch is in this game, and we want to stop him. If you remember, right at the beginning of the game, I tossed down a pink ward. When my pink ward wore out, Varus's Corki also picked up. He picked up a pink ward on his next trip back. We put it down in the lane, and then by the time that wore out, I had my Oracle. So again, we wouldn't have been able to do that if we'd been struggling. Again, it is easier to do that when you get some kills, when you start to snowball ahead in lane. But because we were ahead, we were able to do that, and we were able to stay safe. Now there's another fight going on up here in their jungle. We're going in, trying to invade, trying to get that red buff. Dark Binding missing from D.Va's Morgana, but nonetheless going to be able to grab this, and looks like we're going to take it for Varus's Corki. And red buff very strong on Corki because it does proc the on-hit effects on his missile spam, so you can slow people with your missiles with that red buff. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I guess I'd have to see it in action, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So anyway, they're almost hitting on that Dark Binding, not quite able to, but D.Va and I are going to be able to put a little bit more push on this tower. Even though Zilean's going to try to time bomb us, it's not really going to be all that much damage. Although D.Va walked into me and actually dropped another bomb on my head, which was a little bit silly. Okay, so Varus has finished his Trinity Force. He actually finished Trinity Force at about the 14-minute mark, which is really early, so I'll just hover over it again. Attack damage, ability power, attack speed, critical strike, movement speed, health, and mana, and then the Sheen proc on all uses of your skills. So again, a great item for Corki because he's going to be using his skills constantly. He's probably most similar to Ezreal in terms of other AD carries. He does a mixture of some physical and some magic damage, so you want those Sheen procs going on. Anyway, while Varus is farming down here, we're going to look to invade. There we go, going to ward up their jungle again. We know this blue buff's going to respawn soon, and we just want to make things more and more uncomfortable for this team. Here comes Alistar right there. Vender's going to dash out on him. There's the Valkyrie in. He's going to use his cleanse on his ultimate, but Sona ult coming out. And who's going to get the kill? It looks like Corki's going to get the kill. Now, right here, Varus actually hits on his binding. Twitch is actually invisible, but he knows that Twitch is still here. So going to trigger that Soul Shackles and actually manages to kill Twitch, even though he's invisible, which I thought was pretty funny at the time. I was walking over with an Oracles. Now, Vayne trying to defend this tower, but not really going to be able to defend this right here. And who's going to finish off Vayne? Actually, it's going to be Sona. So anyway, at this point, the game is pretty much over, ahead 11-1. We're just too far ahead at this point in time for their team to do much. We have their map warded up pretty well. Here comes Zilean trying to circle around. Here comes, they're actually going to miss on that Dark Binding. Here comes Yorick as well. And again, I mean, if we want to fight these guys, we probably can. We still do have 4 champs here, but instead we're going to back off and just, make it out of there with our gains intact. And I'll take their blue buff while that's going on. Again, so important to deny Zilean blue. If Zilean can't spam his time bombs, he's not nearly as strong as he would be otherwise. Meanwhile, Yorick looks like he's going back in to engage, and there is the red buff on Corki, getting that slow, dealing a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Varus is pretty much out of mana. Otherwise, he'd be able to do more in this fight, but they are going to pick that off anyway. D.Va using his Ignite. Now Speaker's chasing. Does he have his ult up? No, does not have his ult up, but continuing to chase, continuing to slow. There's the black shield on him, and again, we can't get too crazy here. Can't get too crazy in that fight. Meanwhile, this tower is still up and everybody is walking, just like walking around the tower. Meanwhile, Vender is now going to dash forward, and that was a mistake because Alistar's going to engage and he's going to get picked off a bit needlessly. So that was a very silly death to suffer there. Just went forward to Q a minion and got engaged upon by the other team. So that's actually only our second death of the match. And it's been slim pickings for the other team so far in this particular game. And there we go, going to take that dragon. So second dragon of the match, going to score that one. And again, just really snowballing the enemy team out of this game with the fact that we've been able to just completely shut down Twitch thus far. He really has done nothing in this game. And if Twitch isn't able to get early kills and help put his lane ahead, then there's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do, because he's just weaker than most of the other AD carries in sort of a straight up fight. So anyway, Vera's going to grab red again, and after this he should be able to go back and buy. He's sitting on almost 2,000 gold. Actually, now he is sitting on 2,000 gold because we finally did manage to take that mid turret. Here comes Yorick after D.Va. D.Va should be okay though. Looks like he's not in any real danger. Going to take a little harass, but should be okay with Morgana right there. So after getting Trinity Force, next item to get, usually people go for Bloodthirster. That's sort of the basic Corki build. Trinity Force, Bloodthirster. The Bloodthirster gives you extra damage, and then it also gives you lifesteal, which you don't get on Trinity Force. No lifesteal on Trinity Force. So again, that's sort of, like I said, the standard build just makes you a lot more powerful. Vendor is hanging out down here. Remember, Vendor does have our 1 teleport, so we want Vendor down here, and then if their enemy team comes and tries to chase after him, then we're going to force a Baron fight right up here. So enemy team looks like they want to gank him. We spotted some members of their team heading down the bottom lane. Here they come. Here comes Vayne. Here comes Zillion. Here comes that Twitch. What is going to happen? Vendor needs to get out of here, and watch what's going to happen. They're all in bot, so we're just going to pop right over to Baron, and look at the teleport. In comes Irelia, and yeah, these guys had to be feeling a little silly because we just all grouped up at Baron. They were all in bottom lane, and Vendor was able to teleport right out of there. So we're going to score that completely uncontested. And now chasing after that Yorick. There is the Valkyrie after him. He does have red buff, so he's going to be slowing on each proc. There's the Clairvoyance for Vision, and that's another easy kill. So again, why red buff so good on Corki? Because it does slow when you fire those missiles or your Phosphor Bomb. Just makes it so easy to chase. Now Twitch is pushing this lane, but that's okay. We don't really care if Twitch pushes an outer tower because we have 5 here in mid. Yorick just died, and now we're going to be able to force a 5 versus 3 here in middle lane, and we should be able to get into the base without any real trouble. We have Baron, we're really far ahead, and Twitch is actually going to stop. He's actually not even going to continue pushing that, which he probably should, because by the time he gets here, we're going to be able to push over this tower, and there is just more missile spam, putting more pressure on the team. Zillion looks like he's backing for some reason too. Nope, so he's going to disengage, and again, before Twitch can even get back here, we're just going to have this tower down, and we're going to be fighting it there in him. Nice black shield coming out from Divas Morgana, going to block all the damage from that time bomb, and Zillion doesn't really have that much AP so far either because he's had a lot of trouble. There's a nice binding that's going to cause the initiation right there. I'm going to use my Sona ult. There we go. We're going to try to polish off Vayne as well, and there she falls to our team, and we've actually just scored 2 more kills there. I know it looked like we killed 3 of them, but one of them I believe was the Yorick zombie ghost there. So again, we got the inhib, and look at that. Look at the spell shield blocking the pulverized damage. Very, very amusing anytime you see that. And then now, again, trying to finish off Alistar. He is quite low, but we're going to back out here because Vendor and I are pushing on this top lane tower. Going to take this one, and then going to try to grab the tower and the inhib up in top lane. Meanwhile, once again, remember, red buff really good on Corki, so Varus going to come down here and grab this again. He wants that slowing proc on all his attacks, then going to join us in our push up here on top lane tower. So we're in really good shape at this point in time. Twitch hanging around here, but again, have the Oracle, so we can spot him, can see him, and they have everybody back up again, so they can fight for this tower if they want to. Right now, Vendor going to go in first. Vendor is actually tanking the towers, taking a lot of damage here. There goes the time bomb, but going to be black shielded right there. And Vayne is going to get caught in a nice binding by Diva right there. Going to get revived by Zillion Chrono Shift. Going to come right out, but we can turn and fight this again. Yorick is the first to go down, next Vayne falling as well. Vendor going to take a time bomb, and he is going to go down to that tower, but the rest of us have almost got the tower down. We're just really cleaning up in this fight. Let's see, just 1 or 2 more hits. There it goes. Going to get that tower. Now Speaker getting engaged upon, and oh, he needs shields, There is 1 shield going on, and oh, just barely going to survive that time bomb. And I'd like to say that he survived the time bomb due to a clutch Sona heal, but if you were watching closely, the bomb actually went off before my heal came in. Speaker used his own Skarner shield, and it was just enough to keep him alive with maybe 15 HP. So we are not going to take that inhib, but we are going to back out of here, having done a lot more damage and just getting even further ahead. So now Trinity Force Bloodthirster at only 21 minutes into the game. That's pretty crazy. And it looks like Varus is just setting up for a last whisper if he needs the game to go that long, even though there's really not that much armor on the enemy team, just 2 Wriggles thus far. Alistar, this is not a good support build, just for anyone who wants to play support. Stacking Doran's Rings is usually not a good idea. You want to get some passive gold benefit coming in. Diva's Morgana build already has Deathcap, nearly has Zanya's Hourglass. Speaker's Skarner build, Wriggles, Wit's End, and almost Aegis right now. I'm pretty farmed as well, and then Vendor's Irelia also has Wriggles, Wit's End, and it looks like he's going for probably Trinity Force as his next item. So he's not that tanky, but he does deal a lot of damage as Irelia. I guess he has a fair amount of tankiness with Wit's End and the Wit's End with Wit's End and the Phage there. Anyway, Vayne came out of the base to farm, but that was not the best I see it. There's the stun, and here comes Corki's damage, and Vayne's just going to explode instantly right there. So I didn't bother using my ult because I was pretty sure we had that kill. Meanwhile, Speaker and Diva going into the base, fighting with this Yorick right here. Morgana's Soul Shackle's coming out, and looks like Yorick's going to get revived by Zilean, so he's going to try to survive. Another Time Bomb coming out, but Black Shield is blocking most of the damage, and now in comes the Cavalry. Varus jumping in with Missile Spam, going to get off my Sona ult right there, going to slow them just long enough for us to continue chasing it. Down goes Alistar, down goes Twitch, double kill, and there's the surrender vote, because this one is long over, folks. That one was an absolute stomp. Anyway, let's wrap this up, look at the stats, and finish up with this match. This game never really was all that close. With the team comp that the enemy team was running, it looked like they were trying to go for just a lot of disruption early game using the Twitch jungle, but they were never really able to pull that off. Twitch was not successful in terms of trying to get kills in lanes early on in the game. I think we did a decent job of tracking him with Clairvoyance early on, allowing our top and mid lanes to just play back, play safe, play very defensively. And then when Twitch went for the kill in that bottom lane, we already had Speaker right there as Skarner, and we had that pink ward down, so we were able to just blow him up instantly before he was able to do anything, and then kill Vayne in the process. And that just really started the snowball rolling to a point from which their team was just not able to recover. We focused so much effort on shutting down Vayne that she just wasn't able to get back in the game, and it just wasn't really ever able to farm or get kills, and was just too weak to be able to do much of anything, which is of course exactly what we wanted to do. Anyway, I apologize if this game was a little bit too much of a stomp. Most of our team games have kind of been one-sided. We've really only played one good ranked game with our team so far. Most of the games have been pretty one-sided, as I said. This game wanted to show a little bit of the Corki gameplay because I haven't done a video with Corki in a long time, not since a much long ago version of the game. I did a game with him. Talk about his strengths and weaknesses in lane, since I've been talking a lot about ADs and supports. And then also try to show a little bit about how to counter a stealth team. Again, if you are going to be a support player and they're running like a stealth jungler, early pink wards are very key. Prevent them from ganking your lane. Clairvoyance can help too. We were able to track Twitch a little bit with Clairvoyance, and then the other lanes did a nice job of playing safe. So while stealth champs can be really good at stomping solo queue, it's a lot harder for them to be effective in organized team play, which is what this was. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Have some more stuff up soon. Gonna have something interesting up next week. So until then, take care. I'll see you guys soon.